You've been fasting for 16, maybe 18 hours. You feel disciplined. You're doing everything the YouTube guys told you to do, but the scale hasn't moved in weeks. Your energy tanks by 2 p.m., and you're starting to wonder if your body is just broken. It's not broken. You're just following fasting advice that was designed for men. And at least 3 of these 6 mistakes are probably why you're stuck right now. By the end of this video, you'll know the 6 most common fasting mistakes that specifically stall fat loss in women's bodies, why they backfire hormonally, and exactly how to fix each one starting today. Let's start with the one almost everyone gets wrong on day 1. You finish your fast, you're hungry, you reach for oatmeal, a banana, maybe some toast with honey because it feels healthy, and you earned it. But here's what's actually happening inside your body in that moment. After hours of fasting, your insulin receptors are wide open. They're upregulated, which just means they're extra sensitive to whatever you give them. So when you pour sugar or starch into that primed system, your insulin doesn't just rise, it spikes. Hard. And then it crashes. And that crash sends a signal to your brain that says you're hungry again, you're tired, and you need more carbs. It's a roller coaster that can hijack your entire eating window. Think of your post-fast body like a dry sponge. Whatever you pour on it first gets absorbed intensely. Pour sugar water on that sponge, and it soaks up chaos. Pour something slow and nourishing. Protein, healthy fat, and it soaks up steady fuel. And here's why this matters even more for women. Your blood sugar response is already more reactive than a man's, partly because estrogen influences how your cells respond to insulin. That sensitivity shifts across your cycle. Breaking your fast with carbs during the 2 weeks before your period can especially amplify cravings and energy crashes. So this isn't about restriction, it's about sequence. Protein first, always. Now, mistake number 2 is the one that feels the most counterintuitive, because everything you've heard says longer fasts burn more fat. And for men, that might be partly true. But for most women, fasting too long is one of the fastest ways to stall your progress completely. When you push past 14, 16, 18 hours regularly, your body doesn't just burn fat. It also raises cortisol. That's your stress hormone. And a little cortisol is fine. It's part of the process, but when it stays elevated day after day, it starts disrupting a chain of communication between your brain, your ovaries, your thyroid, and your adrenals. Imagine your hormonal system as a conference call. Your brain is running the meeting, your ovaries and thyroid are trying to coordinate, and then cortisol barges in blasting loud music. Nobody can hear each other anymore, your estrogen drops, your progesterone drops. Your thyroid slows down, and your body starts holding onto fat, especially around your midsection, because it thinks it's in danger. Most of the research showing big benefits from 18 or 20-hour fasts, that was done on men, or postmenopausal women. For cycling women, 12 to 14 hours often delivers the same metabolic benefits without tripping that stress alarm. A shorter, consistent fast will outperform a long, stressful one, every single time. Which brings us to mistake number 3. And this is the one I said you're probably doing. You're not eating enough during your eating window. This one is sneaky because it doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like discipline. You fast for 16 hours, then you eat a salad and some chicken and maybe a snack, and you think you're nailing it. But what you've actually done is turn intermittent fasting into chronic caloric restriction. And your body knows the difference. When your calories stay too low for too long, your body downregulates T3. That's the active thyroid hormone that drives your metabolism. It reduces leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're satisfied. And it cranks up ghrelin, the one that tells your brain you're starving. For women specifically, it also suppresses your reproductive hormones because your body reads low energy availability as a signal that it's not safe to reproduce. The result? A slower metabolism, more hunger, and stubborn fat that won't budge, especially around the middle. Think of your metabolism like a campfire. Fasting is letting the fire burn through its current wood so it taps into the stored logs underneath. That's your body fat. But if you never add new wood during your eating window, the fire doesn't burn hotter. It dims to embers to conserve what's left. That's the trap. Women are more susceptible to this metabolic slowdown than men, partly because the female reproductive system is incredibly sensitive to energy balance. So fasting is about when you eat. It was never supposed to be about eating less overall. Now, mistake number 4 seems harmless. You're sipping a Diet Coke or a 0-calorie sparkling water with artificial sweetener during your fast, because technically it's 0 calories. It shouldn't matter, right? Except your body doesn't read labels. It reads signals. When your tongue tastes something sweet, your brain expects sugar to follow, and in response, your pancreas releases a small amount of insulin, just in case. This is called a cephalic phase insulin response. It's your body prepping for fuel that never arrives. And that little bump? It's enough to blunt the fat-burning state that makes fasting effective in the first place. It's like pulling a false fire alarm at the station. The trucks still roll out, resources get wasted on a non-emergency, and the real work gets interrupted for nothing. On top of that, artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can mess with your gut bacteria over time, worsening glucose tolerance. And women's gut microbiomes are already more hormonally sensitive than men's. They shift across your cycle. Adding sweeteners to that equation is just compounding the disruption. Swap the diet soda for black coffee, plain green tea, or sparkling water with nothing added. These actually support your fast instead of quietly working against it. All right, mistake number 5 is the most uniquely female one on this list, and it's the one that no male-focused fasting content will ever mention. It's fasting aggressively during your luteal phase, the roughly 2 weeks before your period. Here's what's happening in your body during that window. Your basal metabolic rate goes up. Your body is burning an extra 100 to 300 calories per day just existing. Progesterone is rising, which slightly increases insulin resistance and shifts your body toward preferring fat and protein over carbs. Your biology is literally asking for more fuel. And if you answer that request with an 18-hour fast and a small meal, you're fighting your own physiology. Cortisol goes up, PMS symptoms get worse, cravings intensify, and fat loss stalls. Think of your cycle like seasons. The follicular phase, after your period, is spring. Your body is energized, insulin sensitive, and responds beautifully to fasting. The luteal phase is autumn. Your body is preparing, nesting, asking for warmth and nourishment. You wouldn't plant a garden in November, and you shouldn't push your hardest fast in your luteal phase. Cycle syncing your fast means shortening your window to 12 hours or less in those 2 weeks before your period, and saving the longer fast for the first half of your cycle. Many women find this one adjustment alone eliminates the plateau they've been stuck on for months. And finally, mistake number 6. This one is so simple it almost feels too basic to mention, but ignoring it can make every other effort feel pointless. You're not getting enough electrolytes. When you fast, insulin drops. That's the whole point. But low insulin also tells your kidneys to flush sodium. And when sodium goes, it pulls potassium and magnesium along with it. These 3 minerals are essential for energy, brain function, muscle performance, and mood. Without them, you get fatigue, headaches, brain fog, and cramps. And most women blame the fast itself when the real problem is just mineral depletion. Electrolytes are like the oil in your car engine. Fasting is a great drive. But if you never check the oil, the engine knocks, overheats, and eventually stalls. Not because driving is bad, because you skipped the maintenance. Women already lose magnesium and iron around their period, so electrolyte needs are elevated at certain points in the cycle before fasting even enters the picture. A pinch of quality salt in your water, a magnesium glycinate supplement, 200 to 400 milligrams, and potassium-rich foods like avocado with your first meal. These don't break your fast, and they can be the difference between feeling drained and feeling sharp. So here's what you do. Starting tomorrow, break your fast with protein. 25 to 30 grams. Eggs, Greek yogurt, a shake, whatever works. Protein first, carbs second. Do this for 1 week and pay attention to your energy and cravings. Next, sync your fast to your cycle. Follicular phase, days 1 through 14. Fast 14 to 16 hours if that feels good. Luteal phase, days 15 through 28. Pull back to 12 or 13 hours and add about 200 extra calories. Try this for 1 full cycle and see how your body responds. Ditch the diet soda during your fast. Replace it with black coffee, green tea, or sparkling water with a pinch of salt. Start an electrolyte protocol. Salt in your water in the morning. magnesium glycinate before bed or with your first meal, an avocado or a banana with your breakfast meal for potassium. Simple, affordable, and it makes everything else work better. And finally, audit your eating window. Track your food for just 5 days. Not to obsess, just to check. Make sure you're actually eating enough. If you're consistently undereating, add a protein-rich snack or bigger portions. Fasting should compress your eating schedule. It should never shrink your nutrition. Remember that woman at the beginning of this video? Doing everything right, fasting longer, eating less, and still completely stuck? She wasn't failing at fasting. She was fasting like a man. Now you know how to fast like a woman, and that changes everything. If this helped you, leave a comment and tell me which mistake surprised you the most. And if you want more science-backed strategies like these, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.